After a long history of salacious pictorials, Playboy magazine closed the book on their notorious centerfolds. But many folks don't remember that. Back when Hugh Hefner started the magazine in the 50s, Playboy was more than just a girly magazine. It was also a well-respected publication known for highbrow content. Of course, it's impossible to separate all that cultural achievement from the magazine's saucy reputation. But back in the 50s and 60s, when pinup culture was at its height, plenty of well-known ladies were clamoring to pose for Playboy's pages, though most appeared in slightly more modest pictorials rather than the truly scandalous centerfold. Here is a list of all the old Hollywood actresses who posed for the Playboy magazine. Marilyn Monroe. Let's begin with the iconic Marilyn Monroe, who graced the very first issue of Playboy in December 1953. At the time, she was already a rising star, having starred in films like Niagara and Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Hers was not a specially arranged photo shoot. Founder Hugh Hefner famously purchased her nude calendar image to launch his magazine. This move, though controversial, helped cement Playboy as a major cultural force, and it also added to Monroe's growing public allure. Jane Mansfield, 1950s to 1960s. Now, pivoting to Jane Mansfield, she was an actress who reveled in excess, the curves, the big personality, the headline-grabbing stunts. Where Monroe's presence in Playboy had subtle undertones, Mansfield's appearances were loud, bold, and brimming with Hollywood's look-at-me bravado. Known for roles like Will Success Spoil Rock Hunter, she stood out not just as a blonde bombshell, but as a shrewd businesswoman who recognized the value of sensational publicity. Diane Weber, February 1956. Step back in time to the mid-1950s, when Diane Weber, then known as Marguerite Empey, was making a subtle yet significant mark as one of Playboy's earliest featured women. Unlike the Hollywood headliners who used their appearances to bolster star power, Weber emerged more as a muse than a marquee name. A professional dancer and a model drawn to themes of natural beauty and artistic expression, she appeared in the magazine's February 1956 issue with a kind of gentle poise. June Blair, January 1957. Picture a moment in mid-century America where the lines between film stardom and pin-up fantasy blurred just enough to let someone like June Blair slip through, capturing attention with understated ease. No dramatic bombshell image here, just a quietly confident individual. Her January 1957 feature in Playboy wasn't about overstated glamour, it was about the simple power of presence. Bunny Yeager, September 1959. Bunny Yeager never settled for merely being the subject of the camera. She preferred to stand behind it as well. Before the September 1959 issue, she was already renowned as a trailblazing photographer, shooting the likes of Betty Page. When Yeager posed for Playboy, it felt more like a creative dialogue than a conventional pictorial. She was both model and creator, a force in front of the lens and the visionary behind it. Sophia Loren, August 1960. In the realm of international cinema, Sophia Loren possessed a certain elegance that seemed to pour off the screen in waves, an intangible grace woven through her every performance. By the time she appeared in Playboy in August 1960, this Italian star had already captivated audiences with roles balancing vulnerability and strength. Her feature in the magazine wasn't just another pin-up spread, it was like an invitation to admire femininity as cultural tapestry. Anita Ekberg, November 1961. Anita Ekberg, the Swedish beauty famed for her mesmerizing role in La Dolce Vita, graced Playboy in November 1961 at the age of 30. Her photo shoot captured her signature sultry allure, embodying the glamour and sensuality that made her a European icon. Dressed elegantly yet provocatively, Ekberg's appearance in the magazine highlighted her international appeal and timeless beauty. This feature not only solidified her status as a sex symbol, but also broadened her appeal beyond cinema, attracting a wider audience to her films and public persona. Elsa Martinelli, October 1963. Elsa Martinelli, born in Italy, appeared in Playboy's October 1963 issue at 28, showcasing her vibrant Mediterranean charm. Known for her roles in The Pink Panther and Ocean's 11, Martinelli's Playboy feature exuded a playful yet elegant sophistication. Her photo shoot emphasized her radiant smile and graceful presence, blending seamlessly with the magazine's chic aesthetic of the early 60s. This appearance amplified her visibility in the American market, bridging her European stardom with Hollywood opportunities. The spotlight from Playboy not only highlighted her beauty, but also underscored her versatility as an actress, paving the way for more diverse and prominent roles in both film and television. Susan Strasberg, December 1963. At just 25, Susan Strasberg posed for Playboy in December 1963, a bold move for an actress primarily known for her dramatic prowess and connection to the method acting legacy. Strasberg, daughter of the famed acting coach Lee Strasberg, appeared with a blend of innocence and sophistication, challenging the magazine's typical portrayal of young women. Her photo shoot featured her in tasteful, elegant attire that highlighted her expressive eyes and poised demeanor. This appearance marked a significant moment in her career, showcasing her versatility and willingness to explore different facets of her identity beyond the stage and screen. Mamie Van Doren, June 1964. Mamie Van Doren, the quintessential blonde bombshell, posed for Playboy in June 1964 at the age of 33. Known for her vibrant personality and roles in films like How to Stuff a Wild Bikini, Van Doren's appearance exuded confidence and unapologetic sensuality. Her photo shoot featured her striking beauty with a playful yet commanding presence, aligning perfectly with her established image as a sex symbol. This feature reinforced her status in Hollywood, keeping her relevant in an era dominated by youthful icons. By appearing in Playboy, Van Doren capitalized on the magazine's wide reach, enhancing her visibility and appeal. Carol Lynley, March 1965. At just 23, Carol Lynley graced the pages of Playboy in March 1965, bringing her delicate beauty and charismatic presence to the forefront. Best known for her role in the Poseidon Adventure, Lynley's appearance was marked by her ethereal elegance and understated charm. The photo shoot highlighted her graceful features and youthful vitality, presenting her as both approachable and captivating. This feature played a pivotal role in elevating her profile, bridging her film career with broader public recognition. Ursula Andress, 1965. Think of Ursula Andress stepping out of the sea as Honey Rider in Dr. No, turning heads and redefining movie femininity with one iconic bikini scene. A few years later, her appearance in Playboy combined Euro-chic grace with a sultry, free-spirited confidence. This wasn't the carefully constructed starlet narrative often spun by Hollywood's publicity machines. Instead, Andress presented herself as worldly, independent, and utterly comfortable in her own skin. Catherine Deneuve, October 1965. In October 1965, at just 21, French actress Catherine Deneuve appeared in Playboy as her international stardom began to rise. Already celebrated for roles in films like The Umbrellas of Cherbourg, 1964, and Repulsion, 1965, Deneuve was forging a reputation as a face of European sophistication. The Playboy feature presented her image to a broader American readership, allowing those less familiar with foreign cinema to appreciate her classically elegant beauty. By highlighting Deneuve's refined demeanor and delicate charm, the magazine introduced its audience to a new type of leading lady, one whose allure combined sensuality and artistic credibility. Jane Fonda, August 1966. Jane Fonda, featured in Playboy's August 1966 issue at age 28, was on the cusp of evolving into one of Hollywood's most dynamic figures. Having starred in films like Cat Ballou, 1965, Fonda was already recognized for her talent and striking looks. Her Playboy appearance at this stage of her career underscored a willingness to engage with the public's fascination while asserting her personal agency. Unlike many actresses who sought primarily to project a bombshell image, Fonda's pictorial conveyed an emerging star equally at home in commercial and cultural circles. It helped broaden her public profile, garnering attention beyond traditional film audiences and setting the stage for the complexity she would later embody: an Oscar-winning performer, fitness icon, and prominent social activist. Jocelyn Lane, September 1966. When British-born actress Jocelyn Lane appeared in Playboy's September 1966 issue at 29, she was known for roles in films like Tickle Me, 1965, alongside Elvis Presley. Her pictorial was a strategic move that spotlighted her beyond the silver screen, casting her in a new, glamorous light for an audience that might otherwise have overlooked her growing career. Lane's appearance in the magazine mirrored Hollywood's international reach at the time, offering an accessible introduction to a performer whose profile blended European poise with Hollywood sparkle. Anne Margaret, October 1966. By October 1966, when Anne Margaret posed for Playboy at age 25, she was already a well-established star known for her dynamic singing, dancing, and acting talents. Having emerged in films like Bye Bye Birdie, 1963, and Viva Las Vegas, 1964, her Playboy feature was less about building initial recognition and more about solidifying her status as a cultural icon. The magazine's readership encountered a performer who fused youthful energy with undeniable sensuality, reinforcing her image as a versatile entertainer, equally adept at musical numbers and dramatic roles. The pictorial amplified the qualities that had already endeared her to audiences: charisma, vivacity, and a magnetic stage presence. Sharon Tate, March 1967. In March 1967, Sharon Tate, at age 24, appeared in Playboy as a rising figure in Hollywood. Though not yet a household name, she had begun to garner attention through small film parts and modeling work. That same year would mark her breakout performance in Valley of the Dolls, 1967, and her Playboy feature introduced audiences to her ethereal beauty just as her career was gaining traction. The magazine's coverage presented Tate as an intriguing new face, fresh, captivating, and poised to join the pantheon of mid-1960s screen sirens. Rather than crafting an established star's narrative, her pictorial offered a glimpse of potential yet to unfold. Silva Cosina, May, 1967. By the time Silva Cosina appeared in Playboy's May 1967 issue at age 33, she was already a respected actress in European cinema, especially recognized for her roles in Italian comedies and international productions. Known for her luminous presence and refined beauty, Cosina had starred opposite cinematic icons like Paul Newman and Kirk Douglas. Her Playboy feature allowed American audiences a closer look at her elegance, subtly bridging the gap between Europe's artistic film traditions and the magazine's largely American readership. While it did not dramatically alter her career trajectory, it broadened her profile stateside. Elke Sommer, December 1967. German-born Elke Sommer's December 1967. Playboy appearance came at a moment when she was already well known in Hollywood for roles in films like The Prize, 1963, and A Shot in the Dark, 1964. By featuring in the magazine at age 27, Sommer capitalized on her established fame, using Playboy's platform to highlight her effortless blend of European style and American screen appeal. The pictorial showcased her versatility, an actress adept in comedic, dramatic, and action roles, while emphasizing her cosmopolitan grace. Rather than serving as a simple career boost, the appearance enhanced her star persona, solidifying her status as a vibrant cultural figure of the 1960s. Stella Stevens, January 1968. When Stella Stevens posed for Playboy in January 1968 at age 29, she was already a recognized actress with credits like The Nutty Professor, 1963, and The Courtship of Eddie's Father, 1963. Her feature in the magazine highlighted a poised, confident star navigating the evolving Hollywood landscape. Unlike newcomers who used Playboy to introduce themselves, Stevens' appearance served to reinforce her established appeal and adaptability. The pictorial revealed a performer who balanced glamour with depth, maintaining respect in an era increasingly aware of women's autonomy and influence. By placing herself before Playboy's broad readership, Stevens not only sustained her visibility amid a rapidly changing industry, but also demonstrated her comfort in taking calculated, image-enhancing risks. Joanna Pettit, February 1968. At 25, Joanna Pettit was still shaping her cinematic identity when she appeared in Playboy's February 1968 issue. Having garnered attention in films such as The Group, 1966, and Casino Royale, 1967, she represented a new wave of actresses poised to challenge conventions. Her feature in Playboy offered a closer look at an emerging talent unafraid of stepping outside traditional publicity routes. Rather than solely relying on film roles to define her persona, Pettit used the magazine's wide readership to introduce herself more intimately, showcasing elegance and intelligence alongside beauty. This exposure encouraged audiences to view her as a versatile performer capable of merging arthouse credibility with mainstream appeal. Carol Baker, August 1968. Carol Baker's August 1968 Playboy appearance came at a time when she had already secured a place in Hollywood's pantheon, notably for her sensitive portrayals in Baby Doll, 1956, and Giant, 1956. At 37, Baker was no ingenue. She brought a seasoned sophistication to her pictorial. This feature represented a strategic move to remain culturally visible as she transitioned beyond the ingenue roles of her youth. In a decade defined by changing social and sexual mores, Baker's choice to appear in Playboy highlighted her adaptability and willingness to embrace a more liberated image. Barbara McNair, October 1968. By October 1968, Barbara McNair had built a solid career as both a singer and an actress. She was one of the first African-American women to host her own television variety show, The Barbara McNair Show, which aired in the late 1960s and early 70s. Known for her smooth, expressive voice, McNair had also graced Broadway and released multiple successful albums. When she appeared in Playboy at 34, it marked a strategic move that highlighted her sophistication, elegance, and self-assurance. Rather than merely emphasizing physical allure, the magazine's feature introduced readers to a performer who excelled across multiple entertainment avenues. Pamela Tiffin, February 1969. Pamela Tiffin emerged during the 1960s as a gifted actress, famed for her appearances in light-hearted comedies and dramas. By February 1969, at age 26, she had starred in films like 1, 2, 3, 1961, and The Pleasure Seekers, 1964, gaining a following for her fresh-faced charm and effortless screen presence. Her Playboy appearance introduced readers to a more personal dimension of Tiffin's allure, spotlighting her appeal beyond movie stills and scripted dialogue. Rather than focusing solely on overt glamour, the feature allowed audiences to appreciate her natural beauty and magnetic personality. Brigitte Bardot, April 1969. By April 1969, Brigitte Bardot was an international icon, having defined a new standard of cinematic sensuality and personal freedom through films like And God Created Woman, 1956. At 34, she was at a point in her career where her name was synonymous with European glamour, sexual liberation, and avant-garde style. Her Playboy feature was not about introducing her to the public. She was already a household name. It was about showcasing her enduring appeal amid shifting cultural tides. In America, many readers had followed Bardot's filmography and public persona with fascination. The magazine offered a chance to see her depicted with the characteristic sophistication and ease that made her a muse to filmmakers, artists, and photographers. Julie Newmar, September 1969. When Julie Newmar posed for Playboy in September 1969 at 36, she was already beloved to television audiences as the sensuous, witty Catwoman from the Batman series, 1966 to 1968. Known for her statuesque figure and graceful movements, Newmar brought a unique blend of humor and allure to every performance. Her Playboy feature offered fans a new perspective. Instead of costumed villainy, readers saw an accomplished actress emphasizing her natural elegance and effortless sophistication. At a time when women in Hollywood faced constrictive stereotypes, Newmar's appearance signaled her control over her own image. Barbara Parkins, February 1970. By the time Barbara Parkins appeared in Playboy in February 1970, she had gained fame through the hit television series Peyton Place and the film Valley of the Dolls, 1967. Known for her dramatic roles and refined beauty, Parkins was often associated with complex, emotionally charged characters. The Playboy feature provided a moment to step outside these scripted personas and reveal a more personal, relatable side. For readers, this was an invitation to appreciate Parkins as both an artist and individual, someone who could balance the glamour and tension of Hollywood narratives with real-world elegance. Paula Prentice, October 1970. In October 1970, Paula Prentice was familiar to audiences as a versatile comedic actress, celebrated for her chemistry with co-star Jim Hutton in a series of light-hearted films like Where the Boys Are, 1960, and Bachelor in Paradise, 1961. By the time she appeared in Playboy, her career had established her as an actress who could bring intelligence and wit to her roles. The magazine's feature allowed readers to see Prentice's multifaceted appeal beyond on-screen laughs. It highlighted her natural beauty and warm persona, suggesting she could navigate both sophisticated and playful environments effortlessly. Lainie Kazan, October 1970. By October 1970, Lainie Kazan had established herself primarily as a gifted vocalist and stage performer, having performed on Broadway and alongside legends like Frank Sinatra. She had also begun to make her mark in films, a trajectory that would later lead to memorable roles in projects like My Favorite Year, 1982, and My Big Fat Greek Wedding, 2002. Appearing in Playboy at 30, Kazan showcased her confidence and magnetic presence to a wider audience. Instead of relying solely on the mystique of stage performances or character parts, she presented herself as an individual with charisma, extending beyond the footlights. This feature helped broaden public perception of her talents, confirming that her appeal encompassed music, acting, and personal authenticity. Veruschka von Lehndorff, January 1971. By January 1971, Veruschka, born Vera von Lehndorff, was recognized worldwide as one of the first true supermodels. Her striking chameleonic beauty graced the pages of top fashion magazines and high-profile ad campaigns throughout the 1960s. Appearing in Playboy at 31, she leveraged her established modeling career to enter the American mainstream, introducing readers to a style pioneer who elevated modeling into an art form. Unlike actresses who use the magazine to cross into different media, Veruschka brought credibility from the realm of haute couture and creative photography. Fran Jeffries, February 1971. By the time she appeared in Playboy in February 1971, at 33, Jeffries had already showcased her charm in films and television guest spots. Jeffries's pictorial was less about shock value and more about authenticity, inviting readers to recognize her as a versatile entertainer who could captivate both visually and vocally. Linda Evans, July 1971. By July 1971, Linda Evans had gained attention through roles in television westerns like The Big Valley, 1965 to 1969. Still, her most iconic part, as Crystal Carrington in Dynasty, lay years ahead. Her Playboy feature at 28 was a subtle assertion of independence and style, illustrating that she could be more than the gentle, wholesome characters she often portrayed. The pictorial introduced Evans's natural beauty and understated allure to a demographic that might have only known her through specific on-screen roles. At a time when television stars were increasingly vying for recognition beyond the small screen, this exposure broadened her public image and enhanced her marketability. Angel Tompkins, February 1972. By February 1972, Angel Tompkins was working steadily in film and television, having appeared in projects like I Love My Wife, 1970, and guest star roles on popular TV series. At 29, she was shaping her identity as an actress capable of both dramatic and comedic turns. Her appearance in Playboy offered a wider audience a glimpse of her personal style, separate from the characters she portrayed. For many readers, Tompkins's feature confirmed that she was poised to break through Hollywood's competitive ranks, using beauty, talent, and adaptability to her advantage. Paula Kelly, July 1972. By July 1972, Paula Kelly was establishing herself as a talented actress, singer, and dancer. Having performed on Broadway in productions like Something More and appeared in films such as Sweet Charity, 1969, she brought sophistication and versatility to every role. On television, her guest appearances and parts in variety specials displayed an effortless ability to move between singing, dancing, and acting. Appearing in Playboy at 28 offered Kelly an additional platform, presenting her as a confident and charismatic individual outside of the stage and screen. Instead of relying solely on her performing arts credentials, the magazine's feature highlighted her poised presence and striking beauty. Karen Phillip, September 1972. Karen Phillip was best known as a singer and occasional actress when she posed for Playboy in September 1972 at 27. Having been a vocalist with Sergio Mendes and Brazil 66, Philippe's experience on the music scene gave her a level of familiarity to fans of jazz-infused pop and Brazilian rhythms. She also gained recognition from her appearances on television's MASH, where she had a recurring role. Her Playboy feature provided a fresh angle to view her evolving career, extending her appeal beyond music and television audiences. Edie Williams, March 1973. Edie Williams carved a niche in Hollywood with appearances in cult and exploitation films, most notably those directed by her then-husband Russ Meyer, such as Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, 1970. By March 1973, at age 30, she had established herself as a character who embraced flamboyance, sexuality, and humor. Posing for Playboy offered Williams a chance to solidify her image as an unapologetically bold and vivacious personality. The pictorial highlighted her uninhibited charm and physical allure, elements that helped define her screen persona in offbeat productions. While she wasn't a leading lady in mainstream Hollywood cinema, her presence in Playboy underscored her cult status and her willingness to challenge conventional notions of celebrity. Sarah Miles, July 1976. Sarah Miles, well known by 1976 for her roles in acclaimed films like Ryan's Daughter, 1970, and The Servant, 1963, was lauded for her ability to convey depth and vulnerability on screen. Appearing in Playboy in July 1976 at age 34 gave Miles an opportunity to recast herself outside of the intense dramatic roles that had defined her career. The magazine's readers encountered a performer who carried both sophistication and natural allure. Unlike actresses who emerged from the Hollywood star system, Miles brought a distinctively British elegance and intellectual aura to her feature. Barbara Carrera, July 1977. By July 1977, Barbara Carrera had begun to establish her presence in Hollywood through roles that highlighted her exotic beauty and adaptable talent. Born in Nicaragua, Carrera appeared in films like The Master Gunfighter, 1975, and would later gain fame in Never Say Never Again, 1983, as a memorable Bond girl. Her Playboy feature at 31 introduced a graceful, cosmopolitan persona to readers who might have only seen her in a handful of roles. The pictorial showcased her poised features and worldly sophistication, helping solidify her crossover appeal. This visibility supported her trajectory into more significant film and television projects. Raquel Welch, December 1979. By December 1979, Raquel Welch was already an international sex symbol and acclaimed actress, known for her iconic roles in films like 1 Million Years BC, 1966, and The Three Musketeers, 1973. At 39, her appearance in Playboy was less about achieving fame, she had long since reached that pinnacle, and more about reaffirming her place in popular culture. The magazine offered a platform to showcase her enduring beauty and vitality at a time when age often limited actresses' prospects. For readers, it demonstrated that Welch could transcend the fleeting nature of Hollywood stardom, maintaining allure and presence well beyond her ingenue years. Liv Lindeland, December 1979. Liv Lindeland first gained prominence as the January 1971 Playmate of the Month and later Playmate of the Year in 1972. By returning to Playboy in December 1979 at age 34, she demonstrated the longevity of her appeal. Lindeland's career extended beyond modeling. She pursued acting and appeared in various film and television projects. The late 1970s pictorial further cemented her connection with the magazine's audience, showing a poised maturity that distinguished her from younger models entering the scene. For readers, Lindeland's reappearance underscored that beauty and magnetism need not be confined to a brief period of youth. Valerie Perrine, August 1981. By the time Valerie Perrine posed for Playboy in August 1981 at age 37, she was an Oscar-nominated actress celebrated for her performance as Honey Bruce in Lenny, 1974, and known for roles in films like Superman, 1978. Her appearance in the magazine offered an opportunity to present herself outside the boundaries of her characters. For readers, Perrine's pictorial highlighted her natural ease, distinctive beauty, and enduring star quality. This feature came at a point when many actresses might fear being relegated to supporting roles as they aged. Instead, Perrine demonstrated agency in crafting her public persona, showing that artistry and allure can coexist over time. Joan Collins, December 1983, age 50. By December 1983, Joan Collins had achieved renewed stardom through her role as the formidable Alexis Carrington Colby on the television series Dynasty. At 50, when she appeared in Playboy, Collins was defying Hollywood's entrenched ageism. Unlike younger actresses who used the magazine to gain exposure, Collins used it to reinforce her timeless appeal and assert that beauty and sex appeal need not fade with youth. The pictorial allowed audiences to see her as a figure who combined class, confidence, and tenacity. Carol Wayne, February 1984. Carol Wayne was widely recognized for her frequent appearances on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson as the playful, buxom matinee lady. By February 1984, at age 41, she posed for Playboy, offering a contrasting image to the perky persona she displayed on late-night television. Instead of the comedic sidekick role, Playboy presented Wayne as an elegant, self-possessed individual. The pictorial allowed audiences to appreciate her beyond the small screen archetype, giving her a platform to highlight her own identity and charm. This broadened visibility came at a time when many TV personalities struggled to break from typecasting. Terry Moore, August 1984. By August 1984, Terry Moore had enjoyed a long and varied career in Hollywood. Born in 1929, she began acting as a teenager, and by the early 1950s, she was an Academy Award nominee for Comeback, Little Sheba, 1952. Throughout the 50s, she starred alongside prominent actors and maintained a steady on-screen presence. Moore's decision to appear in Playboy at age 55 was not a bid for stardom. She had already secured her legacy, but rather an affirmation of ageless appeal. In a media landscape often dismissive of older actresses, this feature demonstrates that beauty and confidence know no expiration date. Donna Mills, November 1989. In November 1989, Donna Mills graced Playboy's pages at age 48, already a household name due to her role as the scheming, glamorous Abby Ewing on the hit television series Knots Landing, 1980 to 1989. Mills had spent much of the 70s and 80s building a resume that showcased her skill in both daytime soap operas and primetime dramas. By the late 80s, she was a recognized figure who exuded a refined, controlled allure. Her Playboy appearance underscored her timeless attractiveness and reaffirmed her position as a television icon capable of transcending ageist stereotypes. Diane Parkinson, May 1993. By May 1993, Diane Parkinson was a familiar face to countless television viewers, having spent over a decade as a model on The Price is Right. Appearing on the popular game show from 1975 to 1993, she was known for her poised presentation style and eye-catching elegance, enhancing the show's appeal. When Parkinson chose to pose for Playboy at 48, she made a bold statement. No longer confined to the role of a charming assistant on a family-oriented program, she stepped into the spotlight as an independent individual, comfortable in her own skin. Nancy Sinatra, May 1995. Nancy Sinatra, daughter of legendary crooner Frank Sinatra, carved out her own musical identity in the 1960s with hits like "These Boots Are Made for Walkin'." By the mid-1990s, she was widely respected for blending pop culture savvy with a streak of independence. When she posed for Playboy in May 1995 at age 54, Sinatra leveraged her established credibility as a singer and style icon to highlight a more personal dimension of her public persona. In an era still negotiating the visibility and acceptability of older women in mass media, the pictorial challenged conventional norms. It communicated Sinatra's confidence and vitality, reminding fans that the spirit behind her music, defiant, self-assured, and trend-setting, endured. Betty Page, December 1995. By December 1995, Betty Page's legend had long since taken root. In the 1950s, she was a pioneering pin-up and fetish model whose playful, unapologetic images would influence fashion, photography, and pop culture for decades. After stepping away from the spotlight, Page had evolved into a near-mythical figure, admired for her role in breaking taboos and celebrating feminine independence. When Playboy featured her at age 72, it wasn't as a new pictorial, but rather to honor her legacy and reintroduce her to a generation influenced by her trailblazing work. Joey Heatherton, April 1997. Joey Heatherton rose to prominence in the 1960s as a dancer, singer, and actress, captivating audiences on television variety shows and performing for U.S. troops during the Vietnam era. By the 1970s and 1980s, her appearances became less frequent, yet she remained a figure associated with vitality and dynamic talent. When she posed for Playboy in April 1997 at age 52, Heatherton reasserted her presence in American entertainment. This move connected her past stardom with a contemporary audience, underlining the idea that charisma endures beyond the peak of one's career.